Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know I look crazy right now. Don't worry, it's about to get worse. I've got these white circles around my eyes because we're going to be doing some color today. So recently, there's been a lot of views on my videos where I'm using the James Charles Morphe palette, and it seems like a lot of comments are wanting to see more looks with this palette. So I figured what I would do is a different color on each eye. I'm thinking maybe like a green eye and a pink eye. Get some pink eye. And maybe play around with some colors that I haven't used on my channel yet. So then if you guys are interested in picking this palette up, or if you already have it and you're not quite sure how to use it, I did get a comment where somebody was asking about the greens in this palette because they were having trouble working with the greens. So I figure we'll go ahead and start there today. I did use the NYX white eyeshadow base. And with this one, you'll see how much it creases on the lid. So it's like you kind of have to pat out the creasing and then really quickly pack on the shadow on top of it. Because if you're packing shadow on top of creasing that's already happened, your eyeshadow look is just going to look creased. So I'm still on the lookout for a white eyeshadow base. This one's okay. I've used it before and it did seem to hold the look in place for many hours actually. But I just feel like I have to dick around with this one so much while I'm applying my eyeshadow that I would like to find something that I can just put on. It's going to be white. It's going to maybe not necessarily set down, but isn't going to crease so much. It's a lot of work. Have any of you guys tried the P. Louise base? Because I feel like that's going to be the next one that I look into. So I don't know. We'll see. But I am going to start with the green. So I'm going to take this brush. This is the Morphe M173. And I'm just going to pat out that white eyeshadow primer just to kind of erase the creasing that is happening. So yeah, taking a Morphe M507, I'm dipping into the shade Daddy. Now, what I noticed with the purple shades is if you were to go in with, say, like Single and build that up as a transition and then try to go over top of it with this darker shade called Escape, it's just not gonna work that well. You need to go in with like these darker variations of these colors first and then kind of softly blend them out with the lighter shade. So I'm going into Daddy first because this is my darker green. I'm taking it on kind of a smaller brush because I want to have a little bit more control where I'm placing it, and then I can kind of blend it out from there. But I really want to pack that color on. I don't want to slowly build it. I want to really get it on there and then blend it out. And I'm just going to press that in, stamping it in right where I want it. And I'm sure that you guys will notice that my voice is still all nasally. What ended up happening was I did end up going to the doctor, and my allergies have just been so fucked up for so many months that it ended up building fluid into my ears, which in turn gave me a double ear infection. So that was the reason why, can't hear out of my out of this ear for sure. So I got put on an antibiotic for a double ear infection, and then I was given a nasal spray for my allergies. After 7 days of the antibiotic, which I think was amoxicillin, it did absolutely nothing. I still can't hear out of this ear. It feels like somebody has shoved my head full of cotton. The allergy shit that was going on, it's still going on. The nasal spray didn't do anything, which I'm not really surprised that it did nothing, because I'm just one of those people that I just don't think that medicine really does anything. I really think that you need to just kind of wait it out, and your body will eventually either figure itself out, it'll figure out the situation and get rid of it, or you'll die. I don't know. Either way, I went to the doctor. I spent money on an office visit. I spent money on pills and nasal sprays and shit to get rid of the situation. And here we are, 2 weeks later, and I'm still in the exact same position. So I don't know. And then taking an E36, I'm going to take that same shade and I'm going to start to press it into the lower lash line as I do, but this time I have that white base laid down, and notice that I'm not blending anything out yet because I really just want to get this color on where I want it so I can get as much color payoff as possible. And I'm kind of packing that on pretty thick. Wrap it around to connect to where I applied it above my eye. Let me tap out this primer on this eye really quick. And then what I'm gonna do over here, I'm gonna start with a deeper shade. I'm gonna go into Love That, which is kind of like this plummy burgundy, kind of deeper pink kind of color. I don't know how you want to describe it. And I definitely want to use the hot pink shade that's in this palette, but I want to lay this one down first just to add some depth. Now I do have a hive right there that I've been battling for a few days. I don't know if there's really anything you can do about a hive except for wait for it to go away. But if there ends up being any weird shit right there or any patchiness, that is the reason why. Just some more weird health shit apparently. I guess that's what happens when you turn 40. Yeah, that happened. I turned 40 last week too. So it is possible that in the near future, this channel could be aimed more at the over 40 market. I just feel like so much beauty shit and so much makeup is aimed at like the younger kids, which is fine, get into it young. But I do feel like there's a big void as far as beauty, makeup, and that kind of stuff being aimed at people over 40. And hopefully people can take away something from a dude that's over 40 wearing makeup, you know? And again, we're packing on our deepest shade, really getting that saturation of color in there, making sure that there's not any patchiness or anything weird happening. And using the same M507 that I used to apply Daddy to originally start packing that in, I'm going to take that same brush and I'm going to go into the shade Social Blade, which is more of this like apple green, tapping out the creasing before I start applying that shade. And then I'm going to press that right onto the lid, kind of in this outer corner, blending that shade into Daddy. We're not doing any kind of swiping motions. We're really just kind of packing that color on. Pressing Social Blade onto the outer edge of where I laid down that darker green. And this is where we're gonna start to blend out the shade Daddy. Definitely tapping to blend that out, especially right where those two colors meet. If you try to swipe it to blend it out, you're gonna end up having patchiness, you're gonna end up having bald areas. And I feel like once that patchiness and once that bald area is there, it's hard to build the color back up. It's like you really have to get it on there the first time and make sure that that color stays there. And again, as long as you're tapping back and forth, this really is a super easy blend. Now, what I have noticed, not just with this palette, but with a lot of shadows, is that when I watch footage back, on camera, things look more unblended, where in real life, the way that I'm looking at this right now, this is like the most seamless, smooth, like you can't see any kind of like a chunkiness or any patchiness where like the dark green is to the lighter green, where I pretty much guarantee you that on camera, when I watch back this footage, it's gonna look like a chunk of dark green and then a chunk of light green, and it's not gonna look that blended. But just trust that in real life, this is very, very blended. It's very smooth. Or even the way things look when they're filmed versus the way that things look in a photograph. Like, those are two completely different things too. So again, you've got the way that things look on film, the way that things look in photos, and then the way that things look in real life. And probably somewhere in that mix is what things really look like. And even the way that I apply makeup on camera versus real life is completely different. Because on camera, I have to hold my head at an angle where you guys can all see what I'm doing, where in real life, what I'm doing right now, I would be down here in the mirror, and I'm sure that you can't see anything that's going on there. And then on the pink side, I'm going into the shade Skip, which I've used this one quite a few times, and I really do like it. It's a pretty good hot pink pigment, so pressing that into the edge of Love That, and just help to blend the edge of that out. And there's a bug. There's so many bugs. Only thing I hate about summer is the bugs. It can be like 200 degrees with 200% humidity. Is that a thing? And I am not gonna complain about it, but I'm just not a fan of bugs at all. Oh, and something else that happened last week, my channel finally got monetized. So I've had my YouTube channel for just over 2 years now. I want to say it was like March or April of 2017 when I posted my first video. And I'll tell you what, for someone like me who has a very small channel with little to no PR coming in, a YouTube channel is a very expensive hobby. More expensive than you think. So when I got the email from YouTube that my channel had finally been monetized and I can start putting ads on my videos and that kind of stuff, I'm like, that's pretty sweet. But it's funny because now here we are like a week later after my channel was monetized. And so far in a week, I've made 10 cents. I made exactly 10 cents. So now I'm torn because I'm kind of thinking two different things for this look. So either I can go in with pinkety drinkety to blend the pink out on this eye, and B, which is the yellow color, to blend out the green on this eye and have a full pink and then a full green. But I'm also thinking that I want to take B and kind of blend out both eyes with that. So I've got green, I've got pink, but then I've got a yellow to kind of tie everything together. I guess I'll figure that out in a few minutes here. Let me continue to blend out this pink color over here. And another thing about this NYX primer that I don't love all that much is that by the time that you get it blended out, it really shears out quite a bit. So the colors that you're putting on top of it, like these brighter colors, they're almost not as vivid as if it was like a very opaque white base. So I'm gonna get on top of that. I'm gonna figure that situation out here pretty soon. And see just the creasing that happens right there. You just really have to press that out. I know that I'm a broken record. I'm like that in my real life as well. I feel like I get that from my mom. She is one of those people that she always goes to tell you, oh, did I tell you blah, blah, blah? Yeah, you told me that a couple times. I'm the same way. I just repeat and repeat and repeat to the point where I'm like, God, I'm like sick of hearing myself talk. So I'm gonna take an R39. I'm gonna dip into the shade B, which is the yellow in this palette. And I'm gonna blend out that outer edge here, which is gonna brighten up that green even more. Now I am kind of worried about the yellow turning the pink orange on this eye. I guess we'll figure that out once we get over there because I would really like everything to stay pink and not turn orange. But I guess we'll see about that. And then skimming across the bottom to, again, just add a little bit of yellow and to kind of brighten up that green underneath as well. Okay, that looks pretty cool. Let's see what's gonna happen with the yellow on this eye. Again, I have a feeling that we're gonna have like an orange eyeshadow situation over here. But since we've got mostly pink, I think that it'll work either way. I think it'll be fine. So far, it looks like I'm able to keep the two pretty separate. And then go ahead and brighten up everything under this eye as well. And then what I did is I made sure that I had two sets of the exact same brushes, and I've just kind of kept them separated. One on my right side for the green, one on the left side for the pink. And this is one of those occasions where it's really nice to have multiples of your brushes. That way, if you want to do a pink look and you want to do a green look and not have to clean your brushes in between colors, which I really need to clean some brushes. I've been so fucking lazy. It has been probably a month since I've washed any of my makeup brushes. I bought a bottle of this brush and sponge cleaner from Ulta. It's like a $3 bottle of brush cleaner. And I've just been kind of spot cleaning my brushes because I've been way too fucking lazy to clean them all. So after much confusion as to what to put on my inner corners, because I just wasn't sure, it totally hit me. The MAC Iridescent White Glitter. The shit goes with everything. So I figure it'll make sense on green, it'll make sense on pink, it doesn't really matter. We're gonna go ahead and plop that down on top of the NYX glitter primer. You already knew that was happening. It makes sense with green, it's gonna make sense with pink. You just wait. Yeah, see, it works well with the pink and yellow. It works well with the green and yellow. It works with everything. I fucking love this glitter. It's so good. And let's not forget the waterline. I'm going to use the Lip Pencil Magenta by MAC on this side. I love the LA Girl Shockwave pencils. They are very bright. They are very neon. But they're really uncomfortable on the waterline. Like, they don't itch, they don't burn, nothing like that, but they dry down very dry on the waterline. So your eyes just get very dry and they look really good and they last a long time, but they're always present. They're always very noticeable on the waterline, but they do look really cool and they do last a very long time. So there is that, and they're very cheap. They're very affordable. So. And then on the green side, I'm going to use Landscape Green Chromographic Pencil. This is also by MAC. And this one is going to match up with the green very well. I love this pencil. And I don't think these are necessarily meant to be really long lasting on the waterline. They're not like a waterproof formula. They're not like the 24/7 pencils by Urban Decay or anything, but these last a long time. When I use these on my waterline, I do go back in and do like a second coat to like really reinforce them and make sure that they last, but they really do last forever. They last all day long. And I'm gonna layer up some highlighters. I'm gonna start with In Bloom. This is by Posh Pepper Beauty. And this is a like pink reflective highlighter. I'm gonna take that on a Morphe M510 and I'm gonna lay this shade down as a base. So we'll have like a really nice soft pink highlighter going on here. Now, obviously, it's a different shade of pink than we have going on the eyes, but that's fine. I just want to have a little bit of the same kind of color story going on throughout my face. So. And then on top of that, I'm going to go into the shade Glam Gold, also by Posh Pepper Beauty, on a Morphe M504, and this one has more of that green gold shift to it. So again, we've got the pink base to go with this eye, and then we are going over top of that highlighter with a green one to go with this eye. And they are different shades of green and pink, but they still just kind of go with our eye look and tie it all in together. And hopefully you're able to see the different shades going on in there on camera. In real life, you can really see the difference between that pink on the outside and that green shift in the center there. And probably for most people, a wing liner would be appropriate with this look, but since I'm working with very limited lid space here, I don't ever do a winged liner. I do want to get some mascara on, maybe some lashes with this look too. I'm going to top off my lips really quick, maybe figure out something with this hair, and I'll be right back with the final look. Okay, so I went ahead and finished off this look with the L'Oreal Waterproof Voluminous Carbon Black Mascara. I also added a pair of lashes. These are by Lily Lashes in the style Diamonds. These are the light mink, but I actually really like these lashes because I feel like lashes are usually like they don't do enough or they do too much and they end up covering up my eye look. I feel like these kind of sit right in the middle. They add some dimension, they add a little bit of drama to the look. You can tell that I have lashes on, but they're not covering up my eyeshadow, you know what I mean? And then on my lips, I use the Maybelline Pink for Me. This is number 376. This is from that new line of lipsticks they have that are universally flattering. thing. And on me, this is like their pink, but for me, this is definitely a nude. And I've been wearing this almost every day lately in my real life. And I've even had some comments, people asking what was on my lips. So I think this is a really, really good one. Hair, I didn't do shit because honestly, I just didn't care today. But again, as far as the James Charles palette goes, I feel like you just really have to know how to work with it. I think that just like I said in my first video with this palette, you have to build up darker to lighter. You need to go on top of an unset eyeshadow primer, something that's going to be sticky or emollient, something that's really going to grab onto those shadows. And as far as blending out goes, you really need to kind of tap to blend, because if you're doing a sweeping motion to blend out your shadows, you're going to end up getting patchiness, you're going to end up getting bald spots. So I think you really just have to be careful with these colors. But if you're patient, they go on really nice, they blend out really well, and you can get some really cool looks out of this palette. So if you're interested in it, they've got plenty of them at Ulta now. It doesn't really seem like they're that hot of a commodity anymore, so you can go ahead and pick one up. They're really affordable. I think it's like a $35 palette and you get a shit ton of colors. I'm a big fan of it. I really like it. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today. That's the look. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.